Just kind of going through it and turning around so much. I'm kind of doing I did this on purpose to give me a little time to share some of the little intricacies of it. But the ability to have now your scan, you downloaded your STLs from whichever software you use, Ateros, Shining, Medit, whatever it is, Trios. You bring everything down, you drop it in, takes a few moments. Um, you already have your presets, which is great. So you did that well ahead of time, leaning on your uLab rep to help you set that up. If there's any questions, you can use your bracket company that can help make sure you know exactly which brackets you have if there's a question. And you chose what you're going to have on the upper, what you're going to have on the lower. And now we're just adjusted the brackets and we're ready to go. So now we get to the part of just designing the trays. You have the ability to design the trays however you want. See all those white boxes? Every part where there's a white box, you can have a split and you can change the trays. You can have 4 trays, 6 trays, 2 trays, one big tray. You have the ability. We're going to talk later in this presentation on how I determine how I'm going to do that. There's thin, medium, and thick. I prefer thick. I just want as much material as possible. I've found that on the thick setting, they're just not that much thicker to where it bothers the patient, but I get a little more oomph to hold on to that bracket a little tighter. So I always use the thick setting for that reason. So you can see here on the lower, I went with sextants, and on the upper, I went with a quadrant effect. Now you hit generate tray, happens pretty fast. Depending on your computer, it may take anywhere from 45 seconds to 2.5, 3 minutes. If you have a much slower computer, it takes a little while to generate. But you can see here, I go to output model. The way I like to do this, I like to go in there and put them into wait for printing. I have like a bin that I use that keeps everything where I want it to be. And now we've got the trays. I use Lux Creo to create my trays. And so this is the flow where I take the indirect bonding trays from that wait for printing file. I can easily just ask for IBT, grab the trays, bring them in. They print flat. They're designed to have a flat surface on the occlusal surface so that they easily print. And then I upload to the printer and slice and upload to the printer, and we're off to the races. So we'll just name it. Usually I put the patient's last name and then IDB, or if it's multiple patients, their last name, so that when it's on the screen on the printer itself, you can determine pretty easily what's happening there. When we print the trays, they come out, you can see they're flat. It's a short print, which makes it fast, like I said, 18 to 21 minutes. And then they just scrape right off. You want to make sure you get under them really good. You don't want to deform them. So you want to use that beveled edge of the spatula. I like having a pretty wide spatula when when I take things off my build plates like that. Then the wash is about 8 minutes. I put the trays in the wash bucket with the intaglio surface down because I want the spin, the vibration, the agitation of the IPA alcohol to kind of splash and get inside the bracket well, inside the tooth itself, because that's the part that I really need to sit down. After you go to this step, you're going to go to the cure step. And if you go to the cure step and you have any uncured resin in the bracket base on the cusp tip, it's not going to fit. It's not going to fit perfectly. And you've done all this work and now your bracket's off by a 0.5 millimeter. And it's just, you don't have to do that. You can avoid that very nicely. And so, like I said, this is a 10-minute print with the Keystone IBT, which works out really nicely.